clase, you should have all received a packet titled Pretérito de verbos irregulares. It should look like this. Please follow along with me as we go over these notes. These are your notes. The verbs in this list are very irregular in the preterite. Please follow the instructions on how to conjugate them. Please note some of them even have different meanings in the preterite. Okay, so if it's a verb that meant something in the present, it's possible it has a different meaning now in the preterite tense. For the verbs in this list, use the indicated stem, which you will see in a second, and add the following endings to it. So the endings are a, iste, o, imos, istes, iero. A, iste, o, imos, istes, iero. It is different than the other endings we have been practicing. There's also something you may notice that is missing, or a couple things that are missing. Accent marks. There are no accent marks with the irregular verbs. Okay, so yay! Excellente. Okay, so no accents. Those are your irregular endings that you will then combine with these stems. The verb estar uses the stem estu. And then we add the endings to it. So if we used estuve with our endings, we would have estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, estuvistes, estuvieron. And that means was or were in the preterite. Tener, the stem is tuve, and we combine it with our endings to have tuve, tuviste, tuvo, tuvimos, tuvistes, tuvieron. And that means have in the present, but in the preterite it means got. That's why it's bolded. It has a different definition in the preterite. It means got. Poder, the stem is pud, and it means can in the present tense. In the preterite it means managed to, or was able to. Andar, the stem is anduve, and it means walked. That may be a new verb for you. Poner, the stem is pus, and the verb means put. Querer, the stem is quis, and it can either be wanted or tried. That's a new definition. Caber, the stem is coupe, and the verb means to fit. Saber, the stem is soup, and in the present it means to know information, but in the preterite it means found out, found something out. Venir, the stem is veen, and that means came. Decir, the stem is dich, and the definition is said. Traer, the stem is trach with a J. These are two J's, dich and trach, and it means brought. And then finally, aser, the stem is is, and it means did or made. If you have a question at this point, write it down so I can answer it tomorrow. Couple of little notes here. The verbs whose stem end in a J don't have the I in the eos form. That would be the verbs decir and traer. Also, any verb that ends in ducir ends in the stem du, D-U-J. And it also uses the irregular endings. For example, if the verb was producir, the yo form of producir would be produhe. And then finally, one last note, the el, ea, usted form of hacer is hizo. We can't use the C because that would say eco, and that's just not right. So, hizo es la forma de el, ea, usted de hacer. Okay, there are two other irregular verbs that don't follow any patterns, and those are dar and ver. They don't follow the above rules, but they do have the same irregular endings as each other. The same as each other. Okay? So dar means to give, and that would be d, diste, dio, demos, distes, dieron. And ver means to see, and those forms are vi, viste, vio, vimos, vistes, vieron. Also note, there are no accents. See? So, that's something to celebrate. Woohoo! Okay. At this point, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and try to fill in the verb charts on that page. Okay? I'd like to do caber first. I will show you the answers to caber, and then after that, you can pause the video. I'll give you about 5 minutes, and then we can play the video again. I will come back on and I will talk to you about how to conjugate those verbs. Okay, so starting with caber, I will show you the forms, but then I'm going to have you fill in the rest on your own. So caber, if you looked on the first page of your notes, you would see that the stem is coup. We then combine it with those endings that are right above. Okay, so we saw that the stem was coup, and then we combined with these endings. And we ended up with coupe, coupiste, coupo, coupimos, coupistes, coupieron. Okay? At this point, please pause the video and work on the rest of the verb charts for about 5 minutes.